Welcome to the High Ground Podcast. I'm Stevie.
And Callum.
So we are back in defense mode. So in defense of Fantastic Four 2015.
Oh God.
Okay, I'm going to say this was one of the first and one of the few Marvel comic book movies I never actually saw at the cinema, because the day I went, the actual screening the screen that was on was having problems, and we thought it was a lucky escape, which it was.
Yeah, that was fate intervening.
Definitely. I mean, it was released in 2015, 10 years after the first or second, depending on which way you want to look at it, Fantastic Four movie. I'll say second because you got the 1994 one that was never meant to be.
The first cinematic outing.
Yeah. So the 2005's Tim Story one, but we're not going to do the Tim Story one because that is fun.
Yeah.
We may commentary track that one.
Yeah, I think that would be better.
Yeah, but
I don't think it's anything to be honest.
no, it's an enjoyable movie. But we're going to look at the 120 million Josh Trank 2015 Fantastic Four, Fant4astic.
Fant4astic.
Yeah. I mean, from an outlay of 120 million, it had a worldwide gross of 167 million. This is all in dollars. I mean, if you even look at Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, that was able to make 309, while the 2005 Fantastic Four made 333. So it is literally, it actually was.
I think it only actually made 50 million.
Wow.
I think only half of that.
That's, I mean, so yeah, 56. You're right, 56. So
Yeah, that is awful.
yeah. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. That was the America one. It was the 2015. It made it. It made, yeah.
Oh, 20. Oh, yeah. Sorry,
56. It was. That's same amount as the 2005 one did it. The US gross 154. Whoa. Jesus, 154 versus 56. That's almost.
Yeah.
And bearing in mind that was 10 years ago, 10 years prior, and taking into inflation into account, that's terrible.
Awful.
It is.
No, I mean, when they consider Batman versus Superman a flop when it made 800 million.
That was a flop in comparison to the other. Yeah, and of course you look at the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah.
That's what it's been compared to, especially the Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. But Fantastic Four, I mean, I hate to use the name of the documentary Doomed, which was the one about the 1994 one.
Which is amazing. If you want to see the chronicle of how Doomed films work.
Yeah,
so fascinating.
Yeah, Doomed, the untold story of Roger Corman's Fantastic Four documentary, which was out in 2015. You can find it on streaming channels.
Prime, isn't it?
Yeah, in the UK.
Yeah.
You can find it. It's genuinely, it makes you want to watch the 94 film, which you can find on YouTube. I mean, we're going off the subject. This is to show you, but I mean, watching. Yeah, but actually, watching Fantastic Four. I mean, it's one of these ones you have in your collection if you're a completist, and it's. I mean, it has the problem of it's boring.
Yeah, I've got to be honest here, Steve. I think I've actually failed trying to find anything defensive for this. I think it might actually be worse than Nightmare.
Yeah, at least with Nightmare we could actually. I highly recommend checking out our one on the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Yeah, that was our hardest one up to now.
It was.
We had a surprise one last week with Dino a Day.
Yeah. This is the reason why we're doing this, actually.
I really think I failed on this quest. I honestly couldn't find anything reasonable. I really couldn't.
It was, I mean, when you go into the problems that the production had, that's, to me, only where you can go, well, it's like this because of this. It was because they wanted a superhero movie, but there was not a superhero movie.
Yeah.
the more of a darker element to it. And
I think wasn't it also Fox's last attempt to get any use out of the Fantastic Four before the license was finished or something like that?
yeah,
I know they were purchased anyway shortly after that, weren't they?
they had to go forward that Marvel wasn't going to, Disney weren't going to buy it up.
Yeah.
Or I mean, there's always been rumors, but
Yeah,
you
but
can't.
no one knew at the time, did they?
No, everything as long as until it's signed,
Mm.
and these rights, they don't want to lose the rights to
No.
something as lucrative as that, or at least give it away. Because if they hadn't been brought up, those rights would have reverted back.
Yeah.
Because the amount of money it costs to make a film wouldn't be worth the rights.
Yeah, I think it's like with the Hellraiser film, it's the fourth one, I think, and they like legally had to produce a certain amount of Hellraiser films, which is why the latest one, before the latest one, like it is literally the worst piece of shit I've ever seen in my life. But they literally just made any old shit just so they could keep the rights for another 10 years, and you just think, like, I don't understand how they think it's gonna make money. But obviously it does because they keep making more.
Name recognition, and you will have the hardcore fan base of any franchise that will go with. Yeah, I mean, it's like with, I mean, we said if Spider-Man up until Spider-Man Homecoming, there's never been a cinematic Spider-Man that I was truly able to 100% get a kick out of.
Yeah, I Maguire, I did. I think we've always disagreed on this slightly.
Yeah.
I mean, you do like him, don't you? But
I like the films. They're enjoyable, but they didn't make me pop the same
No.
way that Homecoming did.
I must admit, like, upon viewing them again, they do seem a lot sillier than they did at the time. But yeah, I remember how popular they were, and they made loads of money, didn't they?
Yeah.
They made loads. I mean, I had Spider-Man 3, another awful sequel. Made the most money out of all of them, didn't they?
Yeah.
Before the later one, so what were we for?
But you could literally get me in the cinema.
Yeah.
If they kept going on then making bad Spider-Man films or bad Superman films or bad Batman films,
Yeah.
you'd still get me in the cinema watching them.
X-Men films.
Or bad X-Men films. Yeah, that's the better example.
I think that's bad in a way, though, because that is playing on loyalty. And I get that, like, you'll always be there at day one, and that's the sort of fans that they want, but it kind of grates on me that they use that to their advantage sometimes, just to get a film out there.
Yeah.
You know, something like Apocalypse, X-Men Apocalypse.
That was terrible.
Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Was that sort of thing, wasn't it?
Spider-Man 3, they knew they wanted Venom in it, and they wanted too much in it, and it was Sam Raimi that got the brunt of it.
Yeah, and then you ended up with a Mortal Kombat Annihilation situation, didn't you?
Yeah.
With any characters. Yeah.
But
this suffers from a complete opposite. There's not enough going on.
It's, you know, if it hadn't been a Fantastic Four film,
Would you have bothered?
no, because it would have just it would have just been one of those. It's not like if you're realistic, you'd look at the boys.
Yeah.
And you've got a world in which superheroes are part of society and the powers, and you see the normal side of it with Jack Quaid's character. And but with something like the Fantastic Four,
yeah,
you can't do it. I mean, I looked at the movies that were around at the time. So you've got 2014. You've got The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is an all right film, but not brilliant. You got Days of Future Past, which was dark, all right. Sorry, Days of Future Past is brilliant.
Oh,
sorry,
yeah, Days of Future Past was great.
Yeah, that Days of Future Past, one of my favorite X-Men movies. I mean, it's yeah. Then you got Man of Steel, and which was 2013, a grittier version of the Superman story, which may not have worked, but I love Zack Snyder. It was Superman should be bright colors. Then also in 2014, preceding the Fantastic Four, you got Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Guardians of the Galaxy. So
that was a good year.
It was. So you've got Guardians of the Galaxy, which is the more fantastical. You've got the grittier Winter Soldier, Man of Steel, Days of Future Past, Spider-Man. So you've got that market. So theoretically, a grittier Fantastic Four should have worked.
Yeah.
But let's look at the year that it came out, 2015. You got Ant-Man, which was one of the love Ant-Man, and you've got Age of Ultron, Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah. So it was kind of a happy year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For, like, action and adventure. So yeah, I think they just timed it wrong, didn't they? With the great stuff. Maybe we didn't want it that year.
That's true, but I tried to find a link between, I mean, you can always go back to Nolan, and
It always goes back to Nolan.
It does, because DC for a long while have been living off of the Nolan reputation,
Yeah.
and that's why you've got the darker, up until the likes of, say, Shazam, really.
Yeah, well, I suppose Suicide Squad was the first attempt to make it lighter.
Yeah.
Because I think we were all sort of exhausted by how you feel when you watch things like Man of Steel and be Superman.
That's because I was way too long.
Yeah.
But Batman and Superman can live in the same universe. It's just
they don't have to.
No.
Like, I mean, they don't have. I don't know. That's for another podcast in itself. But I think it suffers from the same pandering that this does. But we need to make it pretty because of X.
Yeah.
And you don't need to do anything. Like, you need to just make it the way you think it should be made. I mean, it's one of the only Marvel films I know without Stan Lee cameo as well.
Yeah.
Is that deliberate?
I think you wanted to do it.
No, exactly. Yeah. I think he looked at this pile of shit and thought, "Alright, thanks."
You consider that's the first. They call them the first family, and it's one thing that not every, but a lot of Marvel fans, like myself, wanted Stan Lee to see and be in an MCU. And having, we've got Spider-Man back home.
Yeah.
I wanted the Fantastic Four to be back home with them, and I wanted,
I think it wasn't one of the first sort of groups he created.
Yeah, it was, yeah, and it's sort of like Fantastic Four is always going to have a special spot in the hearts. I mean, the cameo as the postman in the original Fantastic Four, him recreating the scene from the comic at the wedding. Where he actually is Stanley, he plays himself at the wedding of Sue Storm and Reed Richards. I
kind of think maybe there's a callback to that postman cameo in Civil War. Is there a Tony Stark?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But I think that's almost like becomes the staple of a Marvel film, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stanley cameo. I hope they replace it with something similar now, where you go, there's
or a little nod.
Yeah.
They've got to do the nod, but no Stan Lee. I mean, I don't think he was in the Punisher. The Punisher's in 18, or R in America, and but I mean, when we were doing this, because this is a challenge. When we were discussing what we were going to be talking about this week, you said superheroes. I wanted a challenge because Die Another Day. Check out the Die Another Day one. I really enjoyed.
Arguably superhero.
Oh, that one. But I thought I wanted to test, and this was an actual test to even watch it. Now picking up the phone and looking at information rather than enjoying.
Yeah,
enjoying the movie, and it's. You look at the writer, Simon Kinberg. If I'm right, didn't he do Apocalypse? Not Apocalypse. He did.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
He directed Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix. Alright film. Terrible X-Men. X-Men Apocalypse. Terrible X-Men. But the first thing, I mean, that you notice is the cast. Miles Teller, way too young to be playing Mr. Fantastic. He's an older, Mr. Fantastic's always been older.
I think I know what they're doing because in the ultimate, in the early 2000s, I was the sort of quasi reboot in Marvel called The Ultimates.
Yeah.
And he was a teenager in that, but just left high school. So I think they'll try and do like the cool things. But I prefer him as an older guy.
Same here.
He's wiser.
You need I mean, someone that Spider-Man can look up to.
Yeah.
And in Mr. Fantastic, you know, if they kept on that timeline, it would be harder to integrate him into the MCU.
Yeah.
Like what they did with Spider-Man, you know, cutting deals. Michael B. Jordan, the Human Torch, great actor. I mean, Killmonger in Black Panther. You know, he's got it. He's good as Adonis Creed in Creed, but it's someone that you could tell was he had the potential they had the potential, but they didn't give him the material to play.
To be fair, he's probably the best part about it.
Yeah.
Just because he's done Black Panther. I mean, which was at the time. But we've now reached two people in the Chris Evans camp of playing two different Marvel characters from two different owned franchises.
Yeah.
But in the same franchise as well. Getting so meta there that was blowing my mind.
I would, you know, I mean, Chris Evans. I've read. Don't know how accurate it is that Chris Evans was one of Stan Lee's favorites.
Yeah.
Because you know, and Chris Evans, you know, he did a great job of. I mean, when I admit, because of Chris Evans being cast as Captain America, I thought, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
They got the Human Torch playing Mr. Goody Two Shoes.
Yeah, because he's like a bit of a douche, but like like a cool guy douche.
But I mean, when you watch him as Ransom in, you know, you watch him as Ransom in Knives Out, and you can see Ransom as being a similar sort of ass as Johnny Storm. And you watch him in Captain America, and you go, what?
Yeah.
It's talk about playing against time. When he was a nice guy, not Mr.
I'm so good of an actor.
He is. I'm sorry, but Ransom in Knives Out.
If you want a cast that really does work, watch that.
Oh yes. Kate Mara, Bland.
Yeah, which is a shame because she's quite a good actor. I prefer her to her sister, and you know she's been in some quite good things before. She's in The Martian, isn't she?
Yeah.
And
she was in one of the Iron Man movies as a U.S. Marshal.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, she is. Yeah. That one, I think, isn't it?
Second. I think it's the second. I actually wrote it down. Kate Mara, Iron Man 2 U.S. Marshal.
That's right. Yeah.
You got Tony Cavill as Doctor Doom.
I've never seen him before.
Oh, the worst Doctor Doom costume.
Yeah, I'm going into this film expecting to see a lot of him. I think he's in about 10 minutes of footage.
At the end. Jamie Bell is the thing. The thing. Do you find out? You know, first thing when I was watching this time around, first thing you know is the thing is naked.
Yeah.
And he has. He's not. He's as barren as a Barbie doll or a Ken doll.
Yeah.
To quote, what's that from? It's just from something. I stole it from something. And the first thing that I thought of when I was watching it was Mallrats. When Brody's talking to Stan Lee about.
Your friend really is obsessed with superheroes.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking as well? I was thinking they didn't have the balls to show the balls like what friend did.
Yeah. Yeah, but the boulders.
Yeah, I could never quite get over the shock because all the trailers obviously get panned.
Yeah.
And then you go to the film and you're like, oh, okay, he's popped out.
And it's 3D on a big screen. Yeah. You know, that's the thing that got me. I mean, you've been turned into a rock monster, and then you look down and you find out you ain't got anything there. That's more scary.
That's really sort of emasculating.
Yeah. And you've
I
got.
must admit as well, I think the CG looks awful. I think the outfit in the original looks really good. Just because it's practical, and you can see that he fits into that, and that's the same actor. Whereas, like, it's just, I mean, I know that's probably what they'll do anyway in the MCU
If you want a rock monster, you just look at Korg.
Yeah.
That is a good CG rock monster. I would pay to see that. I'd pay to see Taika Waititi in anything. I'd like to have. What we do in the shadows? I was gonna say that. What we do in the shadows?
100%.
Free Guy. You got. I mean, one. Reggie Cathy as Dr. Franklin Storm.
Yeah.
That's right. You know, when he was like, adopting and making his own little superhero team up.
Yeah.
And I was thinking it was X-Men. Is he Professor X?
Yeah, I know, it's weird, isn't it?
Oh, and the big thing is you've got Tim Blake Nelson, who was in Watchmen, Looking Glass, and The Incredible Hulk, Samuel Stearns.
What's the character called? He's going to be the leader, isn't it?
Whoa.
Well,
Well, it could happen. They're kind of mining it because Abomination's going to be in Shang-Chi and in She-Hulk apparently.
Oh, really?
TV series,
Oh,
and
does it team up?
yeah.
Oh.
So, and we've already had Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
So it goes to show you that you never know. He might still return, but Tim Blake Nelson's wasted in this.
Yeah.
And he's a talented actor.
Yeah.
He's good in the Ballad of Buster Scraggs as well.
Yeah,
so that's I'm just looking at my notes here. That when Reed, a scientist, puts his hand in the green ooze on a strange unknown planet.
Yeah.
That's one of the ones like, where is the logic?
Where's the like? Isn't it supposed to be like a storm in space or something?
Yeah.
Okay, even in the comics, unless anyone knows differently, but I'm pretty sure it was like a radiation storm.
Yeah.
What sort of all this like negative? I know the negative zone is in the comics as well, but it's not like this. This is just like a different dimension. No, it's stupid.
It makes sense. So you said a bit earlier about how you only see Doctor Doom the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He becomes one with the planet. So it's not Victor Von Doom. It's just
Victor Von Doom.
yeah.
It's not. Yeah, he's again. He's one of the greatest sort of comic villains.
Yeah.
Like, he's always got a plan for things, and he's just a tech guy in this, basically. Isn't he?
Yeah.
Like there's no mention of what's his film called? Or something.
Latveria.
Latveria, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no mention of that, or I like Julian McMahon in the original because he's just scenery.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the way Doctor Doom.
And he's good in I can't believe I forgot the name of it. He's in another TV series, Marvel one, which I'm gonna quickly go and find because I can't believe I forgot the name of it. The teenage thing that they let's have a look. Kerry Washington. Why is it this one? Julian McMahon. This is what happens when Marvel stopped making good, stopped their TV shows that they were doing. The Runaways, an underrated Marvel series. I can't believe I forgot the name. Runaways. He was good in that.
One of the most hated teams in the comics.
I like the Runaways.
I quite like it. That's the one. Is that the one with the Black Bolt? No, that's the Inhumans.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I like Inhumans as well because Ewan Rheon's in it. He's a good actor. Yeah, he's. You cast him as Doctor Doom. There's your scariest Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
There is, yeah. You go to the little thing I noticed because I was when they go and have the teleporter accident.
Yeah.
And I clocked it at 46 minutes and 35 seconds.
Way too long.
Yeah. Now, the film's playing out. So I've got my phone up. I'm curious, like, how long did it take from start to the point where the storm in space is. 15 minutes in the 2005 film. Talk about wanting to get straight into the story.
Well, it's just enough as well, isn't it? Because you get the exposition about why they're doing it, who everyone is, and who the bad guy's going to be. Like, that's all you need, isn't it?
You just touched on something about why they're doing this. Other than leaving the Doom on the planet, which is why he hates Reed Richards. But he hates Reed Richards before that.
Yeah.
And there's no reason. Two competing scientists, but there's no. And Doctor Doom is the Victor Von Doom or whatever is the older scientist, and there's no reason for him to be angry at a little upstart. There's no. Didn't seem to be any love interest between her and Sue, so there's no logic to this.
Yeah.
Why Doctor Doom hates Reed Richards.
It's kind of a cop out as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what you said as well about what the reason they're there for is like, what is the reason they're there? I mean, it's something to do with like teleporting technology, isn't it? But
resources.
Yeah, I kind of got the impression it was like just a military thing they were doing this, and kind of just using them as stooges isn't what the Fantastic Four are. Like, even in the original, like they're doing it for science, aren't they? I mean, obviously, Doom is doing it with his own secret stuff going on, isn't he? But they're all doing it because they're scientists and they want to see what happens. Go back off, man! I'm a scientist.
Yeah.
Get our Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it just don't resonate with anything. I don't feel like, oh, I know why he's doing that. I know why he's doing that. I haven't got a clue.
You said Ghostbusters. 1 hour 25 minutes. There is no Victor, only Doom. There is no Dana, only Zoom.
Yeah.
I was like.
I never picked up on that actually.
I did. I was like, as soon as I heard, and the way they do the line reading, it was. Yeah, the Reed Richards wants to transport matter through space or matter, and the military are going to use it for resources. Then when they get back and they find out they can create superheroes there, that's the reason they go back to create their own little army of superheroes. That's the motivation of the military.
Yeah,
it is. So, yeah, but it's sort of like there you are. It's like production line superheroes, like The Boys, which is another dark thing that can do it.
I mean, they do it properly.
Oh yes. Funny. Was it Voight Industries? Vought. The only thing, I mean, The Boys is good. I mean, that shows you how you can do dark.
Yeah.
And you can.
Make it funny.
Yeah, and play around with the whole superhero. Yeah, and I mean that was a revelation watching that.
Yeah, you've never had the C-Web so much in life, have you?
God, no. And another thing that got me, and it's you said that how you can tell, and when you pointed it out to me about you got the movie up until the accident in space creates some superheroes. It is two separate films, and the bit where the superhero part of it from like 46-minute marker, the bit where Reed Richards goes on the run. Even sometimes the color palette reminds me of the start of The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
And the whole going into hiding and trying to find a way to cure Ben Grimm, and how his friend all those years suddenly just turns on him completely and becomes part of the military, and how Sue Storm doesn't object to it. Human Torch, you could imagine, the whole superhero thing, but you don't get to see. They could have used that whole him being a product of the military, but doing it with the attitude of Johnny Storm. Even the bit when he goes in the car at the start didn't come across as Johnny Storm, and they had plenty of enough time to create this wisecrack. You find out that in the 2005 one that Ben Grimm has issues with Johnny Storm, and in this one at the end, when they try and bring a little bit of animosity, it's forced. Where did that come from? They don't know each other. No. But there is and it's, But seriously, the bit even with the baseball cap and the going into shop fixing things, everything that Reed Richards' second, the second half of the film, his arc, Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
I mean, and Incredible Hulk didn't do that well, but they've mined it, and I actually like the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, it's better than this pile of shit.
Yeah, and it's I know it's Universal MCU, but it's still MCU, and anytime I do a viewing, it's not like, oh, I've got to watch Incredible Hulk. It's like, it's Incredible Hulk, even though it's Eric Bana, not Mark Ruffalo, and not Eric Bana, the Eric Bana one. I mean, Edward Norton. I mean, the Eric Bana one, terrible film, but again, Ang Lee trying to do something that was, but it's the Incredible Hulk. His arc is just playing on that. But Planet Zero, Doom with a hood, just to get the hood in.
Yeah, I think they feel like there's certain beats and certain things they have to tick off.
Yeah.
And it's something the MCU doesn't feel like they should force on you. Like we were saying earlier that they do feel like they do tick certain boxes, like sequel, making it part of the wider universe. But there's no sense of something being forced on you in the MCU. That's why it all works there. Even like a one that's weak, like the Thor Dark World. I don't particularly like the first Captain America film, but I will always watch them when I watch the whole series because they're part of the puzzle. Whereas I would miss this out in a heartbeat if it was part of anything.
You say about forcing things on people. I mean, one of the good things about the MCU is if they've got something in there that they know that might come in useful, like Thor Dark World, they will use that as a major plot point in Endgame.
Yeah.
With you've got to get the ether, and you've got to go into the one that people may have avoided. You've got
keeping, like you say earlier, Thunderbolt Ross as well.
Yeah.
From the film that not many people liked as much as the others. They still keep the character from it.
Yeah, I still popped when they brought him back in.
Yeah, was it Civil War?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again in Black Widow, it's good. It's like saying, this is canon.
Yeah.
And we're using it.
Yeah, we made a mistake, but these characters still exist. And it's what I've heard from yourself and online that they've done something like Cobra Kai, where they said like, Karate Kid 2 and 3 they weren't as good, but it still happened.
Yeah.
And the next Karate Kid still happens, so maybe Hilary Swank will be in it.
Oh, that would be interesting.
It's the sign of a good creator is one that can overlook their mistakes and even incorporate them later, and not sort of do this whitewashed history thing that we sadly do keep seeing quite a lot of at the moment.
Definitely. I mean, I don't know. This is actually like you said, this is gonna. We knew this was gonna be a bit hard. I mean, it's. Yep, the ending, when they try to come up with the names.
Oh, yeah.
And Ben goes, it's fantastic. Then you feel a cut, and I was like thinking, Captain America, was it Civil War? Where he goes Avengers, then before he could say assemble.
Oh, is it not Ultron? No.
It is Ultron.
But they do it in the first Avengers film as well, don't they?
Yeah.
He says, what do you want to do? And it cuts to the...
Yeah.
The Avengers,
And you go, it's fantastic. And you're going, okay, you're not calling themselves the Fantastic Four, but they say it's fantastic. But and it's the way that they're looking over the railing, although this came out, this thing came out at the same time, so they wouldn't have known. But when you've got looking over their new building at the end, which is very much like Age of Ultron, and you're thinking, it was done better. Yeah, they would have known what was going on. There would have been, but it just doesn't work. But going back to the films that were out at the time, they were trying something, but you can't mess with something like that. if you take away the superhero element and you take away the Marvel element, it's a film that you could have generated. I mean, 120 million. You could have made it for a lot less.
Yeah, definitely.
And just not call them the Fantastic Four, because if theoretically there's other than Doctor Doom, which looks nothing like Doctor Doom, redesign the thing and then it's a different movie whatsoever completely.
Yeah.
Change the names back to different other things. You got a film where you don't have to pay money for, but then if you do that, the rights will go back.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was.
It's not like, I mean, there's a lot of blame heaped on Josh Trank, the director, and some blame is deserved. Like, I didn't realise that he bullied Kate Mara because she wasn't his original voice in the studio, etc. Like, that's not right in any case. But like, he has done the superhero thing before. Chronicle's an amazing film. It's like a handheld camera superhero film. Like, these guys, Michael B. Jordan, the main guy, where they find his cave with this crystal and it gives them all superpowers, but one of them sort of gets a bit more twisted. And he's always said, like, it's my modern take on super, and it's a great film. Like, it's really good. Funny enough, it's got Dane DeHaan as well, who's Spider-Man, and Michael Kelly from Man of Steel.
Nice.
There's a little mixture of people in it, but it's kind of, I was reading on IMDb the same thing that happened to Joe Carnahan, who directed the new 18 film.
Yeah.
And a film called Narc.
I've seen the 18. I like the 18.
Yeah, he got Mission Impossible 3 originally based off his work on Narc. And he said, like, that Paramount were just absolute dicks, and they do this honey trap thing where they give independent directors a chance to direct a $30 million project, and then they just stick their hands over it and say, oh, well, it's not your project, it's mine, I'm just giving you the chance to get out there.
Yeah.
And he obviously, like, had some balls and said, no, I'm out of it.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Josh Trank sort of wanted to say, no, this is what I wanted, this is my vision, and then they ended up just cutting all of his vision out, so it ended up not being what he wanted anyway, so effectively ruined his career, maybe.
Yeah.
I've seen as the last one he made was Capone, and that was a big pile of shit.
Yeah. So why would you'd have seen the studio would have seen the script before they went into production?
Of course they did, yeah.
So it's not really his fault.
Oh, no, of course it's not. No, I disagree with some of the things that he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those classic studio interference problems.
Yeah, I mean, if he's bullying, then he can F himself. But,
yeah.
But
I kind of felt really sorry for him, and I kind of felt less sorry for him.
you don't do that. It's not the cast's fault.
No.
But at the end of the day, the producers, whoever signed off on something like that, they are the ultimate ones to blame.
Not the first time Fox done this before as well.
Nope.
Are we thinking of Alien 3?
Other one way that they called it the assembly cut.
Yeah. Because
they can't call it a director's cut because David Fincher. No, but David Fincher. They used David Fincher's notes to do as close to his vision as they could, and I like the assembly cut. I like Alien 3.
But you notice that he's conspicuously absent from the
Yeah.
It's like the same with you with David Lynch. You won't even present his work because it's blocked in by the studio.
That seems to be a thing with DC. You got the David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. It took them ages to actually, well, not that long in comparison to something like the Donna cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
in that case, that was well worth it.
Oh yeah, it's impossible to watch the Whedon cut. That's crap.
I mean, I would actually like to see the David.
Yeah. I mean, they're saying now that, I mean, I know it's underperformed, but they're saying that the Suicide Squad is what happens when you get a director just do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And maybe wrong, but you know, I've spoken to people that have watched it in the UK on Fire Stick.
Oh yeah.
Actually, they come up to me, and it's sort of like going, well, it's underperforming because you got it on HBO in America, and you've got people who don't want to pay to go see it cinema, because if it goes on any channel, someone's going to do a copy of it and put it around any of these, you know.
It's easier nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I went to the cinema to see the Suicide Squad. I couldn't not, because it's James Gunn, big screen, the Suicide Squad, and I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I did do it, but you know.
Well, I think like back in the day, you know, to pirate a film, you literally have to record it on a videotape, and each time you recorded it, it got worse and worse. Didn't it? So if you had like this, I don't know, like 6th generation tape of something that was banned, like The Exorcist, or during the video nasty, you know, a lot of people would always say like that you can barely fucking see what was going on.
And you have all the people that would sneak the video cameras into the cinema, so if someone came out, that now the way it is, you just get someone gets a copy of it and records it straight from the source.
Yeah.
But you don't even need to do that now because of how fast it is. But it's all crazy. I mean, it would be interesting to see if there is if it wasn't the fact probably be all being bolted. See if there is another version of the Fantastic Four. But why would Disney, Fox, Marvel do anything with it now, because they've got the John Watts one going into production soon.
Yeah, so they're not going to want to take the attention away from that.
God no.
I mean, I would like to see it because apparently there's 3 action sequences.
Yeah, there's some stuff in the trailer.
Something that is seriously lacking in this film.
Yeah, I mean, it could count. I mean, it's not the lack of action; it's the lack of characters for me. I mean, I don't like this. I don't like slating Michael B. Jordan. I actually thought the him being the son of, the son of the leader, quote, and their adopted daughter. I thought that was a nice touch. That's the only Sue Storm being adopted was the only good thing about it. But they didn't really play on the brother sister relationship.
No.
And then Reed and Sue's relationship, which is the heart, that wasn't played on.
It just seems like a young guy just fawning after an old woman, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know she's not that old, but I mean, he doesn't look the age that Mr. Fantastic should look.
No.
You know, I like the grey, the grey sideburns he's got, like the streaks of grey. Like that's iconic, isn't it?
But they even muted that a little bit in Fantastic Four because they didn't want it to look too old. Ironically, now you look at them, then you look at Robert Downey Jr. And Hugh Jackman. Okay, he was a lot younger when he signed, but 20 years later, nobody ever questioned old man Logan in. No. And I know it's mean disrespectful to call him that. He was a lot older. Yeah, in Logan.
It's the only thing that worries me about the MCU at the moment. I don't even know if there's part of me that can accept another Wolverine yet.
I know, it's good. I think I'll keep him off for a while. Unless, of course, they can get Hugh Jackman back in the multiverse.
That's what I mean, yeah.
That's how you do it. You bring a multiverse version of him in there, so that way you can pass the torch, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's true what they're doing with Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, that's one way of doing it. Going, you still got yours, but here's Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck as two Batman. Yeah. That's how you do it. I mean, I love the X-Men movies, and I sat through all of them, even Apocalypse, even though it's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, next to Blade, they're talking about it.
Oh yeah.
The first X-Men film was instrumental in getting the MCU going, wasn't it?
Definitely.
I mean, Blade is as well, but Blade is kind of like the. Well, no, it's kind of like the zero part, isn't it? But it's the part not a lot of people would know that was the first successful comic book film.
I didn't realise it was a comic book film for years, and I also didn't realise it was Marvel Studios, an early incarnation of Marvel Studios. So, you've got Blade, which was underground moneymaker. Then you've got X-Men, which was the Fox franchise, which is the one that, and I know Bryan Singer's faced a lot of accusations and everything, but people go look at Avengers Assemble as being like the first superhero mashup, team up. But taking superheroes with different powers and throwing them together. But with Avengers Assemble, they had the origin stories beforehand. With X-Men, you've got a similar sort of idea.
Yeah.
All superheroes with different powers. You've got to introduce the origin stories. And the original X-Men is a great origin story.
Yeah.
And I mean, and a superhero team up movie at the same time. Whereas the defining one, Richard Donner's Superman, only had to deal with the fact you've got to deal with one superhero origin. X-Men had to deal with multiples.
Well, there's certain like sort of defining origin stories, isn't there? I think Sam very much like
Yeah.
What the one you just said as well, Superman. What was it again? I actually just forgot.
X-Men.
X-Men. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And obviously Dick Donner as well with Superman. They're the iconic origin stories, and this had the chance to sort of reboot that and do their own version. They just dropped the ball, didn't they? Even the original, like it's nowhere near a defining origin story, but it handles how they become the team a lot better. And like we said earlier, that there's exposition at the start in those 15 minutes before they become the Fantastic Four. You know who everyone is, why they're doing it. That's all you need.
And why there's the animosity.
Yeah.
And
no fucking around.
Yeah.
For 45 minutes.
15 minutes, you know all you need to know, and you've got an emotional investment. And you look at 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
That's nothing.
No, I couldn't believe it because, like I said, when I was watching and doing research for this, and you know, and I'm just going on the phone. I literally got the films digitally, and I'm like, just going, okay, 15 minutes in, didn't believe it. I was like, jeez.
I mean, 45 minutes is half the film running time.
Yeah. And by then you should have had an emotional connection.
It should be at the end of Act 1 or 2 by that time, shouldn't it? Really?
Yeah. And that's the thing, you can make, I mean, Dark Knight, the bit you're emotionally invested in with the bit of the sequence with Christian Bale and Heath Ledger when they're in the interrogation room.
Yeah.
And the way that the Joker pushes Batman's buttons about Harvey Dent and about Rachel.
Yeah.
And so when Batman loses his shit in this dark film, you're in there.
You've lost your shit as well.
Yeah, you're like, just kick his
ass.
Yeah.
And it makes the whole thing that happens to Harvey worse because Joker's just in control of everything, isn't he?
Yeah.
And it's pissing Batman off because he likes to be the guy in control. Yeah. So the character development in one scene, you know, is something this whole film couldn't do. And it's just even in Batman '89, you know, like there's little moments in that, isn't there? Like in the Batcave when he says something. I can't remember what he says, but he says something like, "I don't want to do this either, but I know it's something I have to do." And you think like, yeah, I'm completely invested in like this is why Bruce Wayne does this, you know, and so on and so forth. I think that's some of the things that I struggled with the Bruce Wayne scenes, and it's something that Batman '89 is flawless with. You actually believe this. He's quiet and he's brooding and he doesn't really laugh very much. And yeah, you can get behind this guy. These people just seem like 2D cutouts, if that makes any sense. You know, even the original. Who's it directed to? 2005.
Tim Story.
Yeah, even the Tim Story one. You know, again, you're aware of what's going on and who's who. Like basic storytelling.
Yeah. And with the Tim Story, they got. I mean, this is pre-MCU, but you could literally take the color palette that they use in this film, and if Captain America, Chris Evans is Captain America, suddenly showed up, or Iron Man showed up, you could actually, it wouldn't be that much of a stretch.
No.
But if but if Iron Man or Captain America or any of the MCU turned up in their universe, did you look out of place just as vice versa if they went into the MCU?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's yeah. You know, I've always said that Guardians of the Galaxy was the one which they've got the stone. Guardians didn't work. They could just say, oh, well, we
tried. Yeah.
We tried. But you look at, say, something like Infinity War, when the world, you just looked at this thing, the world's just going to go to a crapper, and the heroes have lost it. So then you just kick the music in,
yeah,
and then you're on the
Stormbreaker scene.
Yeah.
In Infinity War, like it's even when they're going to lose everything, and you hear, like they're all getting beaten up, aren't they?
Yeah.
And just see the Bifrost, and you think, yes, like the day is saved. And like it makes the whole Hulk line even funnier, doesn't it? And he's like, you guys are screwed now.
Yeah.
But like you actually like that music swelling, especially at the end of Endgame as well, when everyone is charging.
Yeah.
Just like these 10 years have led up to this one moment. That's character development.
Yeah.
Every single like person in that franchise. I mean, you're not a massive fan of Doctor Strange, are you? The film, but you still root for him in Endgame.
Yeah.
Because he's part of the team now.
But just because I didn't like it, I appreciate it more now. I've watched it 3 or 4 times. Yeah. But it's all these things. They're all now different. You know, the worlds that they come from. You can bring them all together. You cannot bring this team into any incarnation. And like I said, the sad thing is like, I mean, of all the cast, I feel for Michael B. Jordan, because he, I really would have loved to have seen him as the wisecracking Johnny Storm, the real Johnny Storm, not the one that just got Johnny Storm's name.
Yeah. It's just, I think there was something I read as well about Doctor Strange's character, where it was supposed to be called something else. I think it's supposed to be like a blogger, make it like dead cool and that. And I just thought, there's your mindset of what they're going for right there. You know, and like you said, you might as well just take the name away, strip everything, just make a B-movie sci-fi film. Might have been better, without the attachment. But all this film makes you want is the MCU now.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's nothing familiar. There's no Galactus. There's no Silver Surfer. There's nothing suggesting that anything's going to carry on beyond this film.
No. But the thing is, if you were to take the Fantastic name off of this film, it wouldn't have made a mark anyway. It would have been one of those ones that you go straight onto a streaming channel, because it would have been the 120 million mistake a studio invested in, because they were trying to get into the dark and more edgy of science fiction.
Yeah.
So even without the Fantastic Four name, it
doesn't make a difference. Yeah.
So it's.
Rupert Murdoch blamed this film for what's his fiscal failures. That's good. Alliteration, isn't it? In that year for losing over $100 million. Of course, that has nothing to do with any of the sexual abuse allegations.
Yeah.
Lawsuits or anything like that. R.E. bombshell.
Yeah, bombshell. Yeah, that's what it does.
You blame that if you want.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, bombshell. Another good film with Margot Robbie from.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah. And.
Furiosa.
Yeah, and Chase Meridian from.
Yes.
Yeah.
And.
Let's go.
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but the absolutely nutty one from Ghostbusters 2016, the blonde one.
Kate McKinnon?
Yeah.
I like the 2016. Sorry, Ghostbusters obsessive at the moment. So.
Understandably.
Yeah.
Film about scientists who are actually cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I know a lot of people don't like it, but even they want, and people were pro Ghostbusters, so.
Yeah.
You're sitting in there, even the film that a lot of people also don't like Ghostbusters, Answer the Call, even they were able to give character development and character motivation.
Oh,
Yeah, and it's got Dopinder in it from Deadpool. So
I think the main issue I'm trying to drive at is it commits the cardinal sin that no comic book film should ever commit. It's just boring.
it is.
It's boring. I know some films seem boring, but it's really the pace. So like something like I don't know, like maybe if you showed something like Casablanca to a younger audience now, they would find that boring because the pace of it is quick. And, there's a film called Allied came out a few years ago with Brad Pitt and Marion Cotillard. It's basically a remake of Casablanca. Like they meet in Casablanca and they become friends and that's fine. But there was more action in it. There was Germans being killed and stuff like that. But I think that some films that seem boring aren't actually boring. They're just setting the scene and making the pace the right pace. And films like this maybe would more people now. Young people maybe wouldn't get it. Or I'm not saying that it's boring at all. Or even something like Alien. I think the pace in that would be too slow for some. We've even said this many times, haven't we? And it sounds like blasphemy, but A New Hope is quite slow, isn't it?
It's very
slow. In terms of action, like everyone remembers it, and it is fast paced in a way, like the editing and stuff like that. But it's quite a slow film compared to something like Raiders of the Lost Ark, isn't it?
Yeah.
And not many people realise that.
The argument there is that because it's I can't speak for people that are watching it now, but at the time there was nothing like it. So you introduce, so it's information overload.
Yeah.
And what is essentially a young farm boy has to rescue a princess from a spaceship in a big final battle on Earth to destroy a planet killer. So
that's a plot summed up in a sentence.
Yeah, and that's over about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And that's all they have to. That's all that goes on in the film, because it's littered in with the little this is the new religion. This is the religion of the thing. This is a blaster. This is an old dirty looking ship. This is the big bad guy.
Here's a desert planet.
Here is a load of talking about how will the Senate survive without the democracy. How will the emperor maintain control without the democracy?
Yeah.
But all you're seeing is a big guy in a black suit that's going to choke out the guy for the way he's spoken to him.
Yeah.
And you call it is a very, very slow film.
But the illusion of it being faster is there because of the characters, because of the plot, because of the tension that's going on. And same with things like Schindler's List. And the plot's driving you forward slowly but surely. You know who people are, you know what's going on. You don't need that old war film style action with it. But you do need action in certain films to drive the plot. And superhero films rely on action, don't they? I mean, you can do cerebral ones that are more character studies. I mean, Joker's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because that's the character you can do that with. Or, I mean, still haven't seen blasphemous, but I still haven't seen Logan. But I get the impression it's very character study.
Yes.
And it works for something like that. But it's needed to be just a quick introduction to a team that's iconic, that, like you say, is the fast handle.
Yeah.
So it should be an important milestone for but it just ends up being a boring clock watching exercise, doesn't it? Whereas, you watch the original one, 2005.
Yeah.
And it's not the greatest film ever made, and it is, some of it is quite bad, but it's enjoyable. That they don't commit the sin of being boring. Same as Street Fighter doesn't, same as Mortal Kombat doesn't, same as even Batman and Robin. I can't believe I'm saying that, but Batman and Robin is terrible. But you can imagine yourself sitting on a Saturday night with a friend, having a beer, having a takeaway, having a laugh. Like laughing at the choices they made. Whereas this is just, I couldn't sit through this. Again,
I mean, when would you? I just want things like that. if we were going to do a commentary track, we could have some fun.
Oh yeah,
throw the notes away and do
the commentary.
Yeah. We could do Batman and Robin commentary track, and that would be easy. You don't need no notes. But if you were to sit down there and do a commentary track on Fantastic Four 2015, you couldn't really. There's not even the enough to have a laugh at with it because you kind of feel sorry for the cast.
Yeah, I think it'd be what a dead album.
Yeah.
But not because we're watching the film like we do sometimes.
Because we're looking up IMDb to find out if we can say something nice or interesting about this scene.
Yeah.
Which is no. I mean, there was no revelation. I mean, I got a bit doing this podcast. This was just to see if this was more of a challenge because we challenged ourselves last week on the last podcast by another day to see if we just, and we ended up doing what I thought was going to be impossible, defending Die Another Day, and it was.
I think we actually spent some time talking about things that were good about it.
Yeah.
Not good, but that we maybe have to reconsider our opinion on it.
Yeah.
Whereas I honestly don't. I feel like I failed in finding anything to defend it.
I'd
be our best in defense of the.
We can't defend, but I mean,
failed.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we're still discussing it, and we're not going. I think I can never say this is a failure because a failure would be the internet and YouTube and podcasters and everything that just sit there and pick holes for the sake of picking holes. We went into this to try and find the good in it because we can, if any of you can find the good in it, feel free to comment on our podcast page or on the Instagram page.
Yeah, I mean there's really no way to disparage anyone that does like this because there are probably people that do like it. Fair enough. If you like it, you like it.
And we're not.
I'm not going to tell you to not like it like a lot of influencers do.
And that's one thing that does annoy me is when people do that. They think because they don't like it, you shouldn't like it.
Yeah.
And Game of Thrones season 8 and Star Wars, the Last Jedi, it got a lot of it, and but no, I love that. And I actually, I've only recently watched Game of Thrones. There's logic to season 8, and I think if people don't like Last Jedi, they're entitled to their opinion, but just don't throw it on me.
Yeah, and don't like without naming names, don't like the film off while dressed up in Star Wars apparel.
Yeah. Oh, so I found that one, and I switched off because I'm getting agitated.
Yeah.
There was anyone involved in Fantastic Four has actually listened to this and got this far. Thank you for listening. There is no malice.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. Yeah. Everyone's all good actors.
Yeah, and we've just tried to defend it.
Yeah.
Tried to. So I think I got nothing more to say.
No, I think we got pretty brutal.
Yeah. If you like Fantastic Four, you're welcome to it, and if you haven't seen it, watch it. It is, but it's
one of those things I think you kind of need to see because it's like the failed studio interference products are the interesting ones sometimes.
Yeah.
Like especially the production behind it, but other than that, I can't wholeheartedly recommend it.
So you're telling me you'd rather watch Spider-Man 3 than this?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
At least you can take the piss out of the dancing scene.
Yeah. At least it makes you laugh.
Yeah. Why did they do that? The upside down kiss with Gwen Stacy and
but there's still action propelling it along.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never thought we'd say that.
Yeah, and I like the I forgive you at the end.
Yeah.
So at least there's a morality story in this. There's no underlying thing in this. So we've just said something nice about Spider-Man 3. We've defended Batman and Robin.
What's going on?
So we've kind of done a little mini in defense of those two. I'm Stevie.
I'm Callum.
See you all soon.